Hello everyone, this is Leimomi Keliikuli, intuitive soul alignment coach here. So today is it's really interesting. It's a really good day that it's all about new beginnings. So today I wanted to share on my show here, my LeimomiTV, just the different ways that you really can start to use your highest psychic gifts. So I'm just going to give a little bit for everybody to jump on. Of course, because this is my live show. And hopefully this will give you guys some trigger, some awakening, and some deeper understanding about how can you use this part of your soul's gifts. So if you're just jumping on in, just say hello, just so I know that you're listening in. I do have you here, my Facebook group, and also my computer. So there's going to be two different angles, and I'll be looking between both of them. So I see some people are just jumping on in, just giving a little bit longer. And because it usually takes about a good minute or two before everybody's on here. So first, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Leimomi Keliikuli. I'm an intuitive soul alignment coach, and I basically help my clients and my audience to get into soul alignment. And what I mean by that is like getting into alignment to who you are at soul level and coming from that space, and then everything else will kind of follow with it. I truly believe that when you are in alignment, every level of abundance can come to you. And sometimes it's just, knowing what you're at soul level and doing soul level actions is what's going to bring on more levels of abundance. So if this is the first time you're watching me, this is a show all about like helping you to get back into alignment to who you are meant to be. And I also have other interviews with other people who have been going through this embodiment also, and sharing about how they got into their master genius and what they do. So that's coming very soon. I'm just arranging everybody to get on certain days, and that's going to be every other week on a Wednesday. So typically it would be like today, and every other week, and I'm going to bring on a new guest sharing about how they have gone through misalignment and gotten back into what was aligned to them, and how they basically, show up now that they're aligned more with their work that they're a genius about. So today I want to talk about the topic, which is, why you may be feeling that something is missing. That feeling like you just don't know what that could be, but there's just something missing about whether it's in your business or your relationship or any parts of your life areas, and you're not sure why that is, right? And then, why actually activating your highest psychic gifts is actually the answer to feeling that kind of feeling of why you're feeling like something is missing. Okay, so I guess I can start with kind of a little bit telling about a story about how that all kind of works energetically. So when I first started to do psychic work, okay, this is back when I first joined this spiritual group that we basically taught yoga and meditation, and we were healers. And so we had to manage these yoga healing centers. And so for 10 years, that's what I did. And my background has always been about psychology. So because I graduated my bachelor's in psychology. So I was always interested in how people relate to each other, why they do what they do, and what are they thinking about. So I was always fascinated by the brain, and which led me, of course, to a more spiritual nature, being more fascinated about the heart. What does the heart do? How does it function? How does our soul function, and all of that? So I've been on this path, like figuring out how does the ego and the soul react to each other? How can you really master your gifts? So that's pretty much my expertise. I help people to figure out what is their master genius. And if they are a master genius at what they do, how can they do it even better, right? And step into their leadership. So in the beginning, when I was developing my psychic gifts, I had every single reason why I was like, I'm not a psychic, I'm not a healer, I'm not, educated enough to do this kind of work. And I had a lot of that doubts inside because I came from a background from my family. And even though my family is Hawaiian, back when I connected with my ancestry, the only person that actually had real, I think, abilities were, when I look back in the past, was my great-great-great-grandmother and, generations before. So like, I never had the experience of like, well, somebody there to help me in a tangible way of developing my gifts. But the only thing that I knew was that I had that ability, and I was basically the black sheep in the family who was really interested in all this spirituality and spiritual stuff. And I always felt like alone and not sure whether I wanted to be a psychic and be a healer and go on this kind of path, right, of spirituality. But every time when I asked myself, what did I want to do in my life? It was always going towards the healing arts and trying to understand the soul. So really my whole life, I've been trying to develop my psychic gifts. But when I first started, I definitely was at the point where I was like, I don't know if that's even possible that I can use my third eye, that I can actually see images and see all of these things and stuff like that. When you first start off, your first consciousness is like, well, I'm not a psychic. I'm not spiritual. I'm not a healer. I don't even know any of that abilities inside of me. But I'll tell you that the reason that I wasn't sure was because I had a lot of past experiences of being abused, physically, mentally, spiritually. So I had a lot of abuse before I was 21. So of course I thought like, yeah, why would I even want to develop my spirituality at all? But I had this need, this thing that felt like I was missing something. And I was like, I wasn't sure what I was missing, but I knew that whatever I was doing on a physical level wasn't fulfilling me. So that's why I joined this spiritual group, which was about teaching yoga and traveling and meditation and managing healing and martial arts centers all over the world. And so it basically led me in a whole journey towards finding my gifts and, showing up in that way in the world. So because I was kind of put in that position, I was the youngest monk in the spiritual group. I was the youngest person. And everybody else was like 20 years, a master. And by the way, people called me master, which, was kind of like a bit strange for me in the beginning because I was like, wow, I'm still learning. I don't know if I'm a master. But what was so amazing was that because people called me master and I practiced it every day, I did everything possible to, expand my gifts and, do the work, expand myself and help humanity. That is what actually allowed me to bring in higher levels of abundance and fulfill this missing piece that I never really knew that could ever be fulfilled. And looking back at it, it was because I was still, even though there were other stuff as the reasons why, I shouldn't have stayed with the group, when I look at it soul level, it fulfilled this need of opening my heart. And if you think about it, if you're in a 9-to-5 job and you're doing something that's not exactly what you love to do every day, you keep closing your heart and you keep feeling like you're not capable and you don't trust yourself, right? So if you're in that kind of situation where you're doing something where you don't want to do, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's a relationship meaning an intimate partnership, a job that you hate, anything that's this that I should be doing, that's a really, really good sign that it's a misalignment that you really need to start to uncover and open yourself more, because otherwise this missing feeling will continuously be there. And this goes the same too, like when you're, creating your marketing plan and your business plan and you've got all these cool ideas, and the things that you think you can implement, but then your ego goes into confusion. You're like, I don't know if I could do that. And then you get unclear and then you don't take any action, right? The reason all of that happens is because you're not in touch with what truly the soul desires in that creation. It can be kind of fleeting, like just temporary, right? Just like when you have a drink, a glass of wine or whatever, just feeling good at the moment, right? Most of the time, what we are doing is we're just making our soul or our ego, in fact, like feel good at the moment. And that never really serves this hunger inside to create something from the heart, from the space of the heart. So getting back to my story, when I was actually like meeting people and giving people transformations and doing my so-called purpose, right? There's something about just the act of actually engaging and expressing myself that really just like fulfilled that need, which was the need of building my spirituality, but also building the foundations of what I truly love, right? Because at the time I was a young master, right? I just tried every little thing, was successful in whatever I did, but even that success never really fulfilled what I truly wanted and what was missing. And I can tell you what was missing was using my psychic abilities in a way that it's soulful, that it fulfills this trust in myself, right? So it's good if you're doing your work, right? Even if you're doing it as a side job or whatever, but you just have to remember that it has to come from this space of really deeply connecting with whatever that your heart desires that way, right? So if your heart is desiring this expansion and using your higher psychic abilities, you can't do it unless you are connected deeply into the energetics of what your soul is. And I call that your energetic signature, your unique energy of what the soul is meant to express. That came directly from when we separated, before we separated from source. We are one kind of primary energy. It's our main gift, right? Hi, Charisma. So you see, like when you are in this alignment, your soul will absolutely be happy. And this, why you're having this feeling of missingness, right, is because there's just something not in alignment to you at all. So this is where you need to uncover, where is the desire of the soul and what does it want to express? And I can tell you the fastest way to do this is, of course, through the heart, right? So this is why we create from the heart, create from our soul desire. But the next step really after that, once we start to create from the heart, then it's really opening your psychic abilities at a whole nother deeper version of yourself, okay? And I'll tell you that once I started to create that momentum, of course, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know how to do this. I was fumbling, lost my tarot cards or things like that, whatever was my tools. And I always felt like I was like on play, right? In my sessions, in my readings and my healing work. But something inside of me was like, there's something much more deeper that I needed to develop, but I just didn't have access to it, obviously, because I was part of that group and I had to like do certain things, just like any religion or any other institution that you have to kind of follow the rules, right? Well, that's why I became an entrepreneur. So if you've been really wanting to break free from all of that stuff, being an entrepreneur is the best gift you can ever give to yourself. But you do need to work up to that ability to trust yourself so that you will create the money that will, you know, catapult you to that freedom of whatever stuff that you want in the world, right? So that feeling of missing something actually comes deep down to you not opening yourself on this higher level of expression, okay? And that is why that you feel something is always missing. So what you need to do is develop this sense of like self-expressing a bigger version of yourself. And you have to continuously like work up towards that. Hi, Takia. Hi, Rebecca. You see, like, you have to work yourself towards getting there, because if you don't, this is why the missing piece is always that feeling there. So, for example, you know, if you're a business coach, there's so many kinds of ways that you can bring strategy and, you know, what you do at another higher version that is your highest psychic gifts, actually. If you're a life coach, there is also aspects of your higher psychic gifts that you make it very unique and how you change people's lives, right, in their life. If you're a love coach, then obviously you can bring in another higher level of love into what you do, or whatever kind of coach or singer or writer or something. Everybody has a higher psychic gifts archetype. So what I have found is there is your main 8 energies, which is what you're at soul level. Everybody has all 8, but just one that's more of a primary, and that is the one that you must align to first. Well, each one of those has a highest psychic gifts archetype. So I created this highest psychic gifts archetype system where you can actually keep expanding yourself to this higher version of yourself, and you're embodying this type of archetype. So as you keep expanding yourself like this, you'll actually be able to bring in a higher level of what your service is meant to be, because you're using your third eye, you're using your, you know, your 6th chakra in a way that's a full-on expression of what the heart truly wants. So you actually, what you need to do is you need to open the heart first, right, and start. You know, that's why I created my 14-day program, was to start creating from the heart, creating from what the soul desires and manifesting it, right? Then it's developing the higher psychic gifts so that you can actually see beyond the unseen. But I'm not saying that you got to be a psychic, you know, or that kind of thing. Everybody has a higher expression of what that looks like, but you may not even be aware that you're actually using your third eye at all, because it's just so natural and it's easy, right? But like I said, each one of those 8 actually has their own archetype. And when you start taking actions towards that, you're going to see there's just more and more abundance that's going to flow to you, okay? So, hi, Stefana and Rebecca. So if you guys have any questions, you can always like just, you know, comment and share whatever you want to share. Or any awakenings that you get by listening to me. So when you are developing your psychic gifts this way, it can be, of course, like difficult, because you're wondering, well, is that really my gift? Because the way that we've been taught is we go look for tools out there that is supposed to, you know, mean that that gift is more developed. But that's not how you want to develop your psychic gifts, actually. You want to actually start doing it accordingly to your own archetype. Okay, so my type of archetype has a lot to do with magic. I create magic all the time. And what I mean by that is I create miracles by awakening people and triggering something that they just automatically just starts to create, but just by being in my presence, because being in my presence is what gives people the hugest benefit. So all I need to do is be myself, right? Be authentic, be myself. That's a higher psychic gift. That doesn't mean that I did it psychically. That was like really, really what I embody. But we've been taught for so long that our psychic gifts is supposed to look like we do tarot cards, we do Reiki, we do whatever kind of tool, right? NLP, we do Akashic Records, like the tools. That's not what your psychic gifts are. That's just a tool. That's just your, you know, you're being the messenger using that tool. But that's just one part of my archetype, right? I'm kind of like, I create magic. That's how I know that when I'm in my highest psychic gifts, I align to my magician. I align to this magical person. And I don't do anything but just be myself. But that's different. That's not something that some other, out of those 8 energies, they don't embody that. So if they try to align to mine, it's hard work. Never ever feels like, I mean, they can, but it is like hard work, right? I didn't do anything. I just showed up. I did my group calls. I talked to people, you know, they got to see me on video or whatever, and they just magically get awakening after awakening. It's very specific to me, to my type of soul, which is all about love, okay? So everybody has a very personal psychic gift that you actually like magically do too, okay? But if you are not aware of what that gift is, then you just think, oh wow, that was cool, you know? But then you keep seeing the thing happen over and over again, and you're wondering, well, how did that happen? So wouldn't it be cool if you knew exactly what your psychic gifts was, what your highest psychic gift was, and your archetype was, so that you can just continuously embody that archetype and you can own it? Because this is how the soul works. The more you own what you are at soul level, the more deeper awareness, everything else abundantly happens to you, because you're embodying it, right? You're living your own truth in this way. Okay. So, that's just one part of the archetype. There's usually around 3 per person, what their psychic gifts would look like as an archetype, okay? And I didn't know this until I kind of opened myself more into my magician and opened up to my, looking at what my psychic abilities really do for people, and looking at transformations that they've gotten, and seeing how does that work for each of one of your energetic signatures. And then I was able to compare, like, okay, so if your power, you know, your divine power, this is what your archetype will look like, and this is how you're going to start embodying it once you start creating that synergy and aligning to it, right? So this is why I keep saying to you, you have to study the soul. Study your soul just as much as you study math and algebra or business or whatever it is. Because this is when you're going to really, really uncover deeper depths of what your soul is. Not only that, but you're going to see truly what your soul wants and desires. And you can live a more, how do I say, like a more deeper, not just only satisfying, but a more fulfilling, soulful, fulfilling way. Okay. So remember, I said your psychic gifts are going to, when you're awakening your higher psychic gifts, you're going to notice that first, there's always going to be this kind of feeling like, wow, I don't know if that's true. Is that possible that I actually embody that? The doubt, okay? So when you start to create from the heart, and this is why I said, like, I created my 14-day program, because that creation and manifestation is so key. So let's say this is the brain. I'm just going to pretend this is 3 layers of the brain, okay? It goes all the way down your spine. This is like the spine, right? Let's say, so this is the heart. It holds its own unique vibration. Oh, it's like glaring right now. I don't know how to get rid of that glare. Because actually it's coming from the window. Can you guys see it too? Or maybe you can't see it. Oh gosh. Probably would have to like move my thing here, which is going to take a second. If you guys don't mind, 1 second. There, is that better? It's a bit better. But then that light is coming out. Shucks. Okay. Anyway, I don't want you to miss what I'm putting on the board. Okay, so this is your heart chakra, right? This is where actually all creation happens. Thank you, Charisma. Where all creation actually happens. So we think it's only in our brain, but actually our heart creates everything. It is of everything that ever exists is actually in the heart. So this is why you need to start studying the heart, which is where the soul is. Okay, everything that's connected there. So this is what our neocortex. Then second level is your limbic system. And then brainstem. So every being, except for only humans have the neocortex. All living beings, they have at least the limbic system or the brainstem, or if they're an amoeba, of course, they don't really have quite a brainstem. You know, it's just something that they're just, they don't have thought, they don't have the ability to think like the way we think. Our thinking brain really comes from the neocortex. So when you're developing your psychic gifts, that first layer that you need to break through will always be this kind of doubt inside. And when you meet the doubt, oh my God, it is so loud. And you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I can do this. I don't even know if I know how to access my gifts. I don't even know what is it I'm missing, right? All of these kind of thoughts come in because you're trying to understand at a thinking level. And the more you go in your thinking brain, the more you're not able to access your gifts, okay? And this is why people who have what do you call mental disorders or any kind of disorders where it stops them from being able to access beyond the thinking brain, right? There's something wrong between this whole system, right? The neocortex and limbic system. So they don't think like normal people, you know, narcissistic behaviors or any kind of like schizophrenia and all that kind of things. They are so stuck in the neocortex here that they cannot really feel the right things and, you know, address what the soul desires and all that kind of stuff because they're just stuck in this upper world of thinking. So when you want to develop your connection to your soul, you have to get out of the thinking. This analytical side of your brain that just goes a million miles per hour and tries to like, dissect everything in detail. You will never really get access to your highest psychic gifts or this higher mobility or really getting deep into the reason why you have something missing inside. You can't do that if you don't get out of the thinking part, okay? And this is what keeps people really stuck is most of the time, this is why the 3D world, this is where people live in the 3D. They're just living in usually the thinking part. And also, of course, the limbic system too, which is all about emotion, your emotional feelings, right? The neocortex is kind of the thoughts. So when you're developing your abilities more, when you're focusing on developing your psychic gifts more, you're going to have to break through so much irrational fear, so many things that maybe not feeling safe, right? All of the emotions will come up because you're trying to come deeper into your creation, which is actually going to be in the brainstem and in the heart, okay? Your brainstem actually creates like the beats of your heart, and that is where a lot of the like theta waves, like have you ever heard of like the delta, beta, and theta waves, right? When we get into a space of really this calm, this is why they always say meditate, that is when you have more access to your abilities and understand more depths of what your soul wants to create. So if you're missing something, you actually literally need to stop the thinking brain, stop this emotional part of you, right? All of these crazy emotions that just keep you caged and small, right? And more into the brainstem, where you can actually access a whole other world that's actually deeply connected to the heart. The heart has its own system, right? Just like the brain has its own system, the heart has its own system. That is actually moving more deeply into your intuition. And when you start to really, really develop this trust and this love in yourself, like in acceptance, that is when you're going to start to feel this deeper connection of what the soul is meant to express. So if you're missing something, you have this feeling of missing something, what you're missing is this deeper connection here to this whole other world. It's very right brain that has no structure, that is just energy, right? Your soul is just energy. The soul, we're going to put the soul, right? Everything else up there is all going to be all very ego world, ego based. And like I said, ego is not bad, it keeps you alive. It's just making sure that it's not running the show. Like I was talking about that yesterday. By the way, like listen to that video from yesterday, where I talked about how to get over, how to know which one's talking to you, your ego or your soul, and how to actually, have them work together. That was a very, very powerful live stream yesterday. So does that make sense? So if you really, really want to develop this confidence, this trust, and your higher psychic abilities to come through, and actually understanding how to align to that energetically, you have to enter this whole other realm of energetics. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, is this whole new world of living in alignment. I'm sorry, cars passing by. Living in alignment with what's the soul's energy, and living from the energy of the soul. This is a choice. This is why we call it, stepping into the 5D and beyond, right? You're not allowing your 3D and the mind, the 4D, but really stepping into this deeper spirituality of what the soul is meant to express. Then you can start to uncover what the heck is missing. And I'll tell you, like, you have to go on this journey yourself. I can show you the direction. And by the way, this is why I'm creating my signature program, Mastering Your Soul's Gifts, very soon. It's going to take me some time to set it up. I realize that. But it's going to take you from A to Z, from not knowing what you are at soul level, what are the things that are missing in your life, and being disconnected from source, all the way to becoming source, being initiated into your own unique self-expression, and really leaving your legacy. But you can't do it if you stay in this 3D, 4D way of thinking. You have to enter, and this is why people are afraid, right? That's why the fear comes up. It's because this is a whole nother world. This 5D and up world is absolutely beautiful. It's not scary at all, actually. The more I develop my gifts, the more beautiful and grateful that I become. I become more simple, more real, more authentic. That is so much more valuable than living in that world of the chaos of being unsure of what you want and going after fame and fortune and things that you think that it's going to fulfill that missing piece, and never will. Okay? This is why the key to success is your soul's gifts. Alignment to your own unique soul alignment. And you have to go through that process and experience that. Okay? Was that cool? Oh, did it shut down? Are you guys okay? Looks like it's okay. Makes total sense. I was thinking about this. This is why I think about really deep stuff every day. I don't know. Is this like normal? Probably not normal, right? I'm always like thinking about how does this all energetically work. And every time when I look at it, I'm like, wow, this is like never ending. This is a whole nother world that you need to start to step into. And you can't do it if you don't have your highest psychic gifts archetype, or what is that unique, bigger expression. That going there actually automatically gets you into this world, into this 5D and up world, into the brainstem, into feeling this peace and love and this trust and this love and acceptance, this flow, right? Moving with the flow, the way the soul wants to move. Because it's not tools. It's not go dancing, you know, dancing exercises, doing yoga. It's not, that's still up there in the 3D world. It's just tools to get to the message. It's not the real energetics of what the soul really is meant to express. And you have to dig deep until you find it, and you don't do it in your head, actually. You do it through action. You do it through soul line actions. The more you take those small little steps towards your soul, the energetics of what your soul is, the more you're going to understand what the heck I'm talking about. The only reason why I get these awakenings every day is because every day I'm taking a little bit of steps towards the thing that I desire, and I'm the thing that what my soul really embodies. And the more I do that, the more I get this awakening after awakening after awakening. And it triggers something in the brain that triggers this higher abilities to come through. So all of you have your own like higher psychic gifts. And like I tell you, it's usually going to be something you've already been doing that you just kind of became aware of, and you're like, wow, so what does that mean, right? Because we always think psychic gifts is us being able to read people, right? Or like talking to the dead, stuff like that. No, your higher psychic gifts is something totally beautiful. That's all I can say. Okay. So I decided again that I want to launch this program again. Back in November, it was sold out. My 30-day program, Activating Your Highest Psychic Gifts program, it was phenomenal. And I would like to experience that again with you guys. And I'll be launching my 14-day Soul Line Manifestation Method program and this 30-day program to just like help you guys build into this trusting yourself, into, you know, getting into the soul. And then you're going to see the big program. And the big program is going to encompass everything from, because there's over 30-something steps actually about how you go from, you know, knowing that I'm spiritual, that I want to live a different lifestyle, and completely changing your entire lifestyle in just a short period of time, just showing you the direction of how you can create a soul alignment type of lifestyle, a soul aligned lifestyle that is yours. Because either way, all I'm doing is giving you a bit of that material so you can take your business and your life in this whole other like expansive nature that maybe you cannot even imagine. Like if you would have told me that this would have been my signature program and that this was going to be only about the soul, and I would be like, what? Because, you know, when I first started my business, like I said, I was like more of a business coach, a psychic business coach. And I was like, that was just not fully aligned to me. I can talk about business. I love business, but this is way, way more beautiful and bigger. And I know that this is going to solve so much problems for all of humanity if you can just really, really get into the root of what your soul is all about, and then everything else comes with that. Really a beautiful thing. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out to me, you can PM message me, and of course, you know, go to my website. And I'll type it here, Leimomi.com, which is my name.com. And all my programs are there. The next one that's going to come up is for my 30-day program, which is the Highest Psychic Gifts program that I'm talking about. It's absolutely going to solve this problem that you're having of that missing piece of how you can expand your gifts and how can you be more of that expansive nature. And so, yeah, that 30-day program is going to really, really open your gifts, activate, things that have been dormant inside of yourself, so that you can really, really start to embody it, and then start to use your higher gifts instead of the usual things that you've always been doing. Okay. And then if you really, really love this, of course, share this live stream with your audience, or your friends and family. And if you haven't been on here, definitely, haven't been on in my Facebook group, join my Soul Alignment Leaders for Conscious Living Facebook group. You can just type it up, look it up, or you can go straight to my business page, my Facebook business page. And right on there, there's a link to my Facebook group and my website and everything else that I can help you with. So anybody has any questions about that, or did that trigger some awakening in you? And by the way, you can listen to me over and over again. The more you listen to this, what I'm saying is going to waken up your consciousness, and it's going to just bring more of an awareness. So it's good that you're listening because it's going to uncover something so much more deeper than what you could have imagined. Trisma says, this was great. Thank you. Thank you, love. All right, so that was my spiel for today. Again, if you guys are interested in that, in my 30-day program, it's coming up next month in February. So it's right on my website. So just kind of look at the sales page and see if that's what you want to step into. But it's absolutely going to open you up for expansion and utilizing that higher psychic gifts, right? And accessing this, this intuition, this love, and this acceptance of the soul. And you do need your high psychic gifts, and following that system will bring out a whole nother divine mission that you probably would not have done. That's actually how I ended up finding my abilities of doing grid work. Because when I kept aligning to my higher psychic gifts, I was seeing oh, this is one big part of what my psychic gift is doing grid work. And then the more I did it, I was like, yeah, this is so much different than what I thought my psychic gifts was, which was, doing readings and healing work on people, doing Reiki type of work, or clearing spaces, that kind of things. That wasn't really aligned completely. But when I did start doing my grid work, I was like, oh, that's my highest psychic gift archetype. I wouldn't have been able to find that if I didn't align to my own gift, which is divine love. So all of you have your own psychic gifts archetype, and that's what's going to help you to absolutely release this missing piece feeling. Because as soon as you operate and open your heart and your mind starts to just get rid of that clutter, right? Then you'll start to realize that there's actually this deeper confidence and trust in yourself. And then you can start to be aware and then start up-leveling all of your 10 life areas with ease, and your family and friends will just start evolving with you. So essentially, when you are in soul alignment, what happens is all the people, places, and things, they start to become brighter. They start to evolve eventually. And that's what's the best thing, is because you're being yourself, you're opening your psychic gifts at a much bigger level, and you're being of service. So that directly reflects everybody else around you too. All right, well, you guys have a beautiful day. This was beautiful to share this new knowledge with you. Again, if you have any other questions or anything, you can feel free to reach out to me. And if you're listening to the replay, thank you so much for listening again. And I'll see you guys all very soon. Have a beautiful day. Aloha.